Alright guys, here's another Advanced Legends race line tutorial. This is going to be for the BullRing. This is going to be a track where if you are not a breaker or someone who breaks often, you will need practice. On both ends of the track, you need to pretty aggressively use brake to slow down so you can wrap the bottom of the turn by the rumble strips, and almost as soon as you come off the brake, you're going to get right back on the gas. This is a very, let's say, fast-paced track, if that makes sense. So, per the usual, we're going to start off from the pits. I'm going to show you guys an out lap. We'll run 5 full speed laps, and then we'll go back and dissect a couple laps. So, here we go. You guys can hear the brake squeak. Got a little loose. And one more left. Okay, so those are full speed laps around the BullRing. A couple of things I want to mention before we move on is if you have an open setup here at the BullRing, when you get on the brakes, if the car pushes and doesn't want to turn, you're using too much front brake. So typically the car is at like 75, go down to maybe 70 or 72 and try it again. Now, on the flip side of that, when you get on the brake, if the rear of the car wants to kind of come around on you and you get loose, you've got not enough front brake. So this will probably be, depending on how hard you use the brake, or if you're probably below 60%, or I'm sorry, 70% on the brake, maybe you should go back up to around 70 or 72. The sweet spot for me is right there. Depending on how much braking that I need to do, I may go from 72 to 70 or vice versa. So with that being said, my fast lap around here on that first one was a 374, so we're going to start there. Like I said, once you get braking down, it's not too hard to be consistent. You again, stock iRacing setup. These setups are not meant to be speed breakers. I'm sure you've got guys like Eric Steele and guys that run the SOF races that could probably do a 16 flat. These setups are not built for that. They're built more for stability, and I chose to use them because whoever watches this has access to iRacing stock setups. So with that being said, when we cross the start-finish line, we should be around 82, 83 miles an hour. We had a good runoff lap, so we got a little bit more speed. Now, the first thing we're going to look for is this set of tires and these two lines right here. So we're going to try to get this left front corner just on the back side of that white line. And when we're turning in, when our hood pin gets to, I don't know, the rear third of these tires is where we're going to let off. So you can see we're still full throttle. I chose my turn in. And when I get to this last section of tires, I'm going to start rolling off the gas, and you are immediately getting on the brake. And you're going to hold the brake all the way to the bottom until you get to the second set of rumble strips. So we cross the line, we're completely off the gas, we're pretty aggressively on the brake to slow down and keep the car to, or help the car to turn. So as we continue, like I said, we're going to try to find our spots. So the first one is going to be here. The second one is going to be here. This first darker painted line here. So we're going to cross this set of lines. We're going to be completely off the gas, braking instantaneously. We're going to try to hit the back side again of this first darkened painted line. And we're going to go all the way down to our, what used to be a white painted line, but it's ran over. So we're going to brake, come all the way down. And as soon as we come up to and pass this second set of rumble strips, you can let off. Now, we're going to get back on the gas pretty quickly, but we're going to just roll around, and we're going to try to stay on this line. Again, these bottom painted lines help the car rotate. If you get down too low, the car is going to flatten, and you're going to upset the car and spin. So try to find that happy medium where you can stride this line right here. So we've made it down to the line. We've hit our second set of rumble strips right here, and we're going to let the car roll. We're going to roll, until we come up to this next set of this Las Vegas sign turn 2. That's where I choose to get back on it because I know we're starting to come out of the corner. Now the thing again here with the BullRing is the corners aren't tight per se, but you have to subconsciously tell yourself gas and wheel, gas and wheel, gas and wheel. They almost have to be hand in hand, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. So when we chose to get on the gas, the steering wheel has to come around at the same time. If you try to hold the wheel down, you're scrubbing way too much speed, you're chewing up your tires, and you're not going to last in the race very long competitively. So we'll back it up again. We're going to hug that white dirty line here down at the bottom. As soon as we come up to this Las Vegas turn 2 sign, we're going to start to roll back on the throttle, and we're going to get on it pretty heavily. So there we are. So at the start of Boyd Gaming is where you should be, somewhere in that area, flat-footed, and we're going to straighten our wheel pretty rapidly, and we're going to come all the way out parallel to the wall, looking for our next set of points. Now this track is pretty wide, so you don't have to get super close like we normally would, but we're close enough, parallel to the painted BullRing. Okay, so our next set of lines, we're going to try to look for this little stop sign right here, and this white, the last painted white marker. So as we approach, and our hood pin gets about even with that line, is when we're going to start to our turn in, if you will. And we're going to be just on the back side of this painted white line with the corner of our hood. So again, as we approach it, I got off the gas a little sooner than you can hold it there. However, if you will notice, we're going to have our point here, and then we're going to have our point here. So it's kind of like this triangle here is when we're going to turn in. And as soon as we come up to that line, as soon as we're off the gas, hard on the brake again, and we're looking for that second set of rumble strips. There's one. Staying on the brake, staying on the brake. I'm still on the brake a little bit, and I'm completely off by the time I get to that second set of rumble strips. Like the other end, we're going to stride and roll right on this line until we get to the next set of Las Vegas signs, which is right here. And that's where we're going to, again, pick up the gosh, I can't talk this one. Pick up the throttle, and we're going to pretty aggressively get on it, straightening our wheel, going out to the outside wall, and we should cross the start finish line again, 82, 83. So let's see what happens here. 82. Okay. So real quick, just a little recap. We're going to look for the last third of these tires, and we're going to be on the back side of this white line. So we're going to choose our entry point, back third of the tires, off the gas, on the brake pretty hard, looking for this second darkened painted line, right on the back side of it like we want. We're going to brake until we get up to that second set of rumble strips, letting off the brake, rolling around the corner, staying on the bottom painted line. We come up to Las Vegas, starting to get on the throttle. Should be full throttle by about the time we get to the gaming sign, and we are. Again, we're full throttle, so we need to be straightening our wheel pretty rapidly, letting the car do what it wants, however, steering it at the same time. So as we get up to the exterior wall, we come up to the Welcome to BullRing sign. We're going to start looking for our next set of points. That tiny, tiny traffic marker light and the last of, okay. So the hood pin again is where we're lining up with that little traffic light here. We're looking for the corner of our hood to come just on the back side of this white line. We're going to turn in. As soon as we approach it, off the gas, on the brake pretty hard, staying on that brake again until we slow down, get down to this second set of rumble strips, which is right here. We're off the brake. We're going to let the car roll, making steering inputs to keep it down. We come up to Las Vegas turn 4. We're starting to get back on the throttle. The turn's opening up. We're going to continue to roll on the throttle. We should be flat-footed by about the start of the grandstands here. And again, we're just going to straighten our wheel, let the car do kind of what it wants, but we need to get out here parallel to the wall so we can get a good run in to the next corner. So again, we should be crossing the start-finish line 82 miles an hour, and we are. So I hope this, I hope these videos do help guys that are trying to learn the different racing lines at the different tracks. I'm going to try to do one of these for every track that the Legends run, so everyone has a reference. Some guys may do it a little different. This is just what I like to run, what I'm comfortable with, and again, I've got some pretty good success in the races that I do. I'm very consistent. And that's all that matters to me, consistency and no incident points. So with that being said, that'll be the how to get around BullRing at Las Vegas.